this face. Remember this face. This is Unmei. In Japan, Unmei is fate. To those who imagine they see him, Unmei is real. Actually, he does not exist, even though you see him now. For Unmei is supernatural. He's present everywhere, always invisible as he watches people's misdeeds, knowing the secret passions hidden in their minds. When Unmei finally appears, it is only to men who are evil. And this is the beggar of fate, so called because many believe him to be an agent of Unmei. They say if he fails to pick up a discarded cigarette, it is because Unmei has told him the person who smoked it is marked for violent death.
Yuki-chan! What's the matter, darling? What's happened?
I am in terrible trouble, Roger.
Trouble? What sort of trouble?
Because of us. We are in trouble.
Come and sit down. Does your brother know? There's only one thing to do. We should be married at once.
本日はご多忙中のところわざわざおいでくださいましてありがとうございました。両家に代わりまして厚く御礼申し上げます。今後とも新郎新婦のためによろしくお願いいたします。May I speak to you a moment, Roger?
Why, certainly, Noritomo.
Please sit down. Perhaps you've been wondering why the reception was held here.
Not at all. I simply assumed you didn't want to make a mess of your own house.
That sort of mess can always be cleaned. No thanks to you, Roger. There'll be no mess of any kind in the house of Miyagi.
I appreciate your meaning, Noritomo. You know, we're having another ceremony so that the marriage will be legal in my country as well as yours.
That's as it should be.
Above all, I want you to understand that I married Yukiko primarily because of my deep fondness and respect for her.
I wish to make a wedding present to you both. Here are the papers. Please accept as your own this house.
I beg your pardon. Could you direct me to 15 Chome Nishiginza?
Oh, it's very hard to find.
I know. I've been having a great deal of trouble.
Well, I'm sorry. I would like to take you there, but I have an appointment.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
sorry.
Thank you just the same.
こんなバカな。これじゃ商売になりませんよ。で、あと1000円だけいただきましょう。あ、もしもし。お勘定これだけいただきたいんですがね。
4,000 yen.
Yes.
What rot.
What?
2,000's all you get, chum.
2000円バカな。これじゃ商売になりませんよ。じゃあ、あともう1000円だけいただきましょう。1000円だけ。
If you don't like it, there's a policeman.
ポリスマン
Excuse me. I'm looking for 15 Chome Nishiginza.
そうですか。
I say, my name's Mansfield. I gather you need some assistance. Can I help you?
The way you helped that Japanese.
What's that?
Do you always cheat when you settle your debts?
Oh, I see you just arrived in Japan. You'll find the common practice here is to charge double for foreigners. I merely gave him the proper price for his whiskey.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
That's all right. Now, what was that address?
15 Chome Nishiginza.
I think that's the Nichidor building. Now, what office do you want?
The Vanning Import Company.
Well, let's go and have a look.
Thank you, but I'm quite capable of finding it myself.
I'm sure you are. But I've conducted you this far, so I'll guide you the rest of the way.
You know, it's funny. Normally, I enjoy people the moment I meet them. So why do I feel such an instinctive dislike for you?
Perhaps it's the natural antagonism of the sexes.
I think you flatter yourself.
At any rate, since you appear to have other things on your mind at the moment, I shall be off, and you can pursue them alone. I left you, the name Banning rang a bell in my mind. This place was involved in a scandal recently. It was raided, and the authorities found part of a large shipment of smuggled opium. The tenant was dragged off to jail.
Yes, I know. The tenant was my brother.
Look, my dear, you're in a bit of a jam. The authorities are still looking for the rest of that opium, and it's a virtual certainty you're being watched.
Why? I know nothing about it.
I can only judge by your presence here, as will they. Unless you want to be arrested, I suggest we leave here at once. Come on, we'll try the back way.
Just who are you, Mr. Mansfield? You wouldn't be a detective by any chance.
Hardly. With my height, I'd be much too conspicuous.
Yes, I guess you would at that. Since you've been so frank with me, maybe I should tell you what I know about the case. You see, when my brother was arrested, he offered the records of his business and the testimony of his partner, Thomas Putnam, as proof of his innocence.
Go on.
Well, unfortunately, the police weren't able to find his records or any trace of Thomas Putnam. And then my brother was found dead with a gun in his hand, and they concluded he'd killed himself.
So I suppose you came over here to clear your brother's name.
And to see that the man who killed him is punished.
I thought you said he killed himself rather than be tried for smuggling narcotics.
I said nothing of the kind. That's what the police believe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I knew my brother better than anyone else in the world. He'd never have had anything to do with narcotics. He wasn't a coward either. No matter what happened, he always stood up and faced the music. He was a... Am I boring you, Mr. Mansfield? You don't seem to be listening.
I heard every word, my dear. I've simply been watching to see who else might be listening. Strange things happen in the Orient, Miss Benning. I only hope you haven't come over here in a wild goose chase.
I know what I'm doing, Mr. Mansfield.
I sincerely hope you do. Now, as we leave here, I want you to notice the man sitting at the table behind you. He's my idea of how detectives should look. Bueno, here, I must go.
はい、どうぞ。
Come on, my dear.
いらっしゃいませ。
Whiskey.
はい。
We'll soon know if you're being followed. Meanwhile, let me say I... Hold on. Look over there. Now we know the two of them working together.
Are you sure they're police?
I think they are. Of course, they could be former associates of your brother who expect you to lead them to the rest of the opium.
Look, I told you I know
I know
nothing.
you, and I believe you. But if your brother's blameless, you're not going to get the facts by trying doors and rattling windows. You'll only get yourself into trouble. I suggest we lose your two shadows and retire to the safety of my house, where I'll explain how I propose to help you.
Well, I would like to get rid of them.
I shouldn't think that'd be too difficult.
ごめんください。
Doors up. Now, if you'll cooperate with me, I'm sure you can get out by the back door without being followed.
Forgive me, King. Why should you want to help me?
My dear, it's very difficult not to help a beautiful woman.
Thank you, but that
Please, let me continue. How to find Thomas Putnam. My guess is that he still has the rest of the smuggled opium. Therefore, the obvious approach is for me, with my many and varied contacts in Japan, which you do not have, to let it be known that I'm in the market for it.
But isn't that awfully dangerous?
Not if it's handled indirectly. It may take time, as this fellow Putnam will probably lie low till the heat is off, as you Americans say, before attempting to sell the stuff. In the meantime, you can follow up any other leads which may occur to you.
I hardly know what to say. I do want to apologize for the way I've been acting.
Your instincts are right, you know. I really am an insufferable character.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mansfield.
Roger, please.
All right, Roger. It's just that, well, I've been terribly upset lately.
Of course. I quite understand, and you're completely forgiven. Now, is it agreed that we should work together?
My name is Cheryl, and it is agreed.
Good. Then I suggest you return to where you're staying,
The Gajuen.
forget your troubles, and have a good night's sleep.
That would be nice for a change.
Kick away.
Will you let me know how you make out?
Of course. I'll keep in touch with you. She'll say you to your cab.
Hi. Thank you. Good night, Roger.
Good night, Cheryl.
What are you doing in Tokyo, Miss Benning?
What are you doing in my room? Who are you, anyway?
I'm your brother's former partner.
You are Thomas Putnam?
No, my name is Yoshida. I took care of your brother's business with other Japanese.
Oh. But you knew Thomas Putnam. You must know where I can find him.
I only knew there was a man by that name. Why do you want to find him?
That's my business.
That business be opium, Miss Manning?
Don't be ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous when so much money is involved.
I'm only interested in Thomas Putnam. When I find him, I'll turn him and his opium over to the police.
I don't think I trust you, Miss Manning.
I should say the feeling is mutual.
Good. Then we'll search for Thomas Putnam together.
Why should I agree to that? Besides, I already have someone helping me.
Isn't it better to have more than one iron in the fire? Good night, Miss Manning. I'll call for you the first thing tomorrow morning.
Do you mind telling me just what your interest is in finding Thomas Putnam?
That is quite simple, Miss Manning. I was devoted to your brother, and I would like to prove that his name was dishonored unjustly.
The thing I can't understand is how you could be my brother's partner and his friend, and yet know nothing about Thomas Putnam but the name.
To my knowledge, he was never in the office. He had nothing to do with our business. Your brother told me he was doing a favor for someone he had met socially.
It doesn't give us very much to go on, does it?
Oh, there you are, Cheryl.
Hello, Roger. How did you know I was here?
I was looking out my office window and I saw you come in.
Oh, I want you to meet my brother's partner.
How do you do? You don't mean this is Thomas Putnam?
No, we've been through that already. This is Mr. Yoshida.
I was Mr. Banning's Japanese partner and his friend.
I see. Biru Ippon. What are you doing now, Mr. Yoshida?
I'm not working. You understand? No one wants to hire a man who was connected with a scandal.
Tell you what, I can use a man with your experience. Here's my card. I'll see you in my office tomorrow morning if that's satisfactory.
You are very kind, Mr. Mansfield. Goodbye, Miss Manning.
That was very nice of you, Roger. Though I don't understand why you did it.
Has it occurred to you, my dear, how clever it would have been for a Japanese to use the alias of Thomas Putnam?
ひょっとしてね、外人でタマス・パトナムという人がね、ここに来たことある。ひょっとしてトーマス・パトナムという人。
Well, I gather we've reached the end of our rope.
No, there is one hope that remains.
What's that?
Tonight, I'll break into the old office. I know the private places where Mr. Banning kept his personal papers. Perhaps the police overlooked something that will give me a lead.
I think I'd like to be in on that.
I do not advise it.
I want to be there, if you don't mind.
How can I mind when it's my duty to take you where you want to go? Stand in the doorway and keep out of sight. Let me know if anyone comes. The police have taken everything.
I think I'll have a look.
If you wish.
Here we go again. Out the back way.
Well, what about Yoshida?
Forget him, you little fool. Go on and be quick about it.
I don't like the way we ran off and left poor Yoshida.
Couldn't be helped, I'm afraid.
And I didn't like the way you pushed me around.
I'm sorry, old girl, but there's no time to waste arguing with you.
How did you happen to be there, anyway?
I didn't just happen to be there. I came to call on you this evening. And, well, to make a long story short, I followed the detectives who were following you. When I saw what you're up to, I got in by the back door and arrived too late to warn Yoshida, but in time to get you out of there. Really, Cheryl, I warned you not to go around breaking into places.
I know, but we'd looked everywhere else. It's a mess, isn't it? And what do I do now?
Well, as soon as you return to your hotel, you'll be arrested, of course. If you take my advice, walk into the Criminal Investigation Division and lay your cards on the table.
You mean give myself up?
I mean, it's better for you to go to them than have them come to you. That's the only choice you have at this point.
You pack quite a wallop, don't you, Miss Banning? One of my Japanese agents has a nasty bump on his head this morning.
I'm sorry about that.
You should be. Now tell me, whatever possessed you to start playing detective?
I knew my brother could never have done the things you said he did. So I came over here to find out who did do them.
But why didn't you come straight to me?
What for? You wouldn't have believed me.
On the contrary, I too have reached the conclusion that your brother was innocent.
What?
We've established that a man named Thomas Putnam used your brother's business as a front for smuggling opium. He then framed your brother by planting some of the stuff in his office and tipping us where to find it. Finally, he murdered your brother, thus eliminating the only person who could identify him.
But if you believe that, why don't you come out and say so? Why do you let people go on thinking my brother was guilty?
In due time, Miss Banning, I'll make the facts public. For the moment, however, I've got to withhold them and hope to lull Thomas Putnam into a false sense of security.
Do you have any idea who he might be?
My number one suspect is the man who helped you escape last night.
Roger? But that's impossible.
Roger, eh? Would that be the Roger Mansfield that Mr. Yoshida mentions in this statement as his employer? I'm sorry to resort to trickery, Miss Banning, but I didn't think you really could have knocked my man out, and I wanted very much to know who did. Actually, of course, Roger Mansfield is not a suspect at all in the Banning case. Now, you go home and behave yourself, and let us track Putnam down.
All right. It's been a wonderful world, Roger. It's wrong for me to be enjoying myself with Thomas Putnam still free.
Obviously, Hodges is getting nowhere. I think I'll resume my own investigation.
No, that's out. We promised we'd behave.
You did, my dear, and have, but not I.
Please, Roger. I don't want you taking any chances.
Yoshida-san! Come here a minute, will you? Do you know that place?
Yes, it's a black market warehouse. Very well known.
I wonder if we've overlooked a possible answer to our quest for Thomas Putnam. A place like that might be a key to his whereabouts. If you could obtain an inventory of what that warehouse contains, I might be able to set a trap for Putnam.
It's as good as done.
Hello, Mansfield here.
This is Kiyoshi Makita. Remember me? The man with the bills?
Look, old chap, I'm quite busy at the moment. What is it you want?
The same thing I always want.
I've told you, Makita, you'll get your money.
You tell me, but nothing happens. Your time is finished, Mr. Mansfield.
Oh, go and get... Oh, Paul. How are you?
Oh, Mansfield.
Personally, I feel wonderful.
Excuse me.
Double scotch. Bruce, I was hoping to find you here. Look, old boy, I've got a proposition.
I'm afraid I wouldn't be interested.
Boy-san, Scotch soda.
Yes.
Double. Whiskey.
By order of the General Court-Martial, sitting at Cairo on January the 10th, it is hereby ordered that Lieutenant Roger Mansfield, duly found guilty of cowardice in the face of the enemy, shall be divested of his rank, decorations, and distinctions, and be dismissed from the service.
Please come and drink some coffee.
Oh, go away. Fools. Lunatics. I'll fix them. I'll fix every blasted one of them. I'll make them pay. I'll kick their cursed teeth in.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Mansfield. Your wife is all right, but I couldn't save your child.
Good morning, Yoshida-san.
Good morning. I heard you were sick, so I brought this to cheer you up.
It's very kind of you, old boy. What is it?
The inventory you wanted for the trap you wish to bait.
Really? From the warehouse? How'd you get it so quickly?
There are ways.
I feel better already. Excellent. It'll take me a few days to set up my plan, so carry on till you hear from me.
Mr. Mansfield?
This is what I called you about. I suggest you let it be known in the proper circles that you have those items for sale. Then when you've secured a buyer...
You mean the highest bidder, of course.
I shall rely on your discretion. At any rate, decide on a meeting place and let me know the location. Then bring along our customer with the cash and I'll meet you with the goods.
Very well.
You were able to bring the supplies?
Of course. You, I presume, are the buyer?
Yes, this is Mr.
Oh, better not mention name. Yes?
His name should be Genghis Khan, judging from the size of his army.
Very funny. But I bring much money. Much money is much protection. Yes?
I suggest you trot it out and let's get on with it.
Not so fast. Fast look is good. No?
By all means, yes, my friend.
American tobacco. Good. Oh, Scotch whiskey. Very good. Selection. Very good. Hey, Kato. Hey, look at marking, yes? Good joke. GS boxes stolen from my warehouse. Hit him.
Hello?
Roger, I know it's awfully late, but something's happened and I need your help.
What's that? Really? All right, I'll get dressed and straight over.
Darling, I'm sorry to call you out at this hour.
That's all right. Can I see the note?
Yes.
You're not planning to meet this character.
I was hoping you'd come with me.
If I go with you, or if you turn this over to the authorities, you'll scare him off.
Then I'll go by myself.
Don't be silly. This fellow is offering information, but the fact that he won't come and bargain indicates he's not on a level. So it must be some form of trap.
Well, what do you suggest?
I'll go and have a look, alone.
No, I couldn't let you do that.
Don't worry, I can take care of myself. And I won't jeopardize anything, because even if I frighten him off, he'll contact you again.
Well, I'd better give you the money.
I won't need it.
Take it just in case.
All right, but first I'll ensure he has something to sell.
Be careful, Roger.
I'll be back in an hour. Au revoir, my dear.
Hello, Tom. Didn't expect to see you tonight, Tom. I've been waiting for a girl named Banning. Of course, I don't need to tell you that. You know her very well. You even know her better than you did her brother.
Derry O'Neill. I didn't know you were in Japan. Now I know why the note said dollars.
That reminds me, Tom. How are you fixed for dollars? I always say, why go to the feet when the head's alive? I'd just as soon be paid by you to forget what I know as...
So you could go to Miss Banning and be paid again to remember.
You've got it wrong, Tom. Just a little down on my luck temporarily. Sometimes fate does that to you. But then fortunes can change, can't they, Tom?
Look, Derry, I've got plenty of yen.
Yes, I heard about that advance you got for that shipment from Shanghai.
But it takes time to convert yen to dollars. You know that. If you give me a couple of weeks, I'll...
Sure, take as long as you like, Tom. But in the meantime, I think I should have something to live on.
That sounds reasonable, Derry. How much would you want?
Well, for a starter, shall we say about 50,000?
Roger?
Yes, but here. Daijo, my dear. In Japanese, that means don't worry. Everything's all right. And I've still got your money.
What happened?
Slight fuss. Just as I expected, the fellow thought if he lured you into a dark alley...
And he had no information?
None at all. I'm sure of that. If he'd had any, I'd have shaken it out of him.
You better let me put something on there. I'm sorry, Roger. I knew it was foolish, but I couldn't help hoping.
Of course. It was worth a try. At least you didn't spend $5,000 for nothing.
Thanks to you.
You know, it's quite a coincidence. When you phoned me tonight, I was just about to ring you. I've had a great stroke of luck with a business deal in Manila. And I must leave Japan almost immediately. Which forces me to a declaration which may be premature, but what I'm trying to say is I want very much to marry you, Cheryl. If this proposal is premature, you're ready to say so.
On the contrary, I'd say it's about time.
Does that mean what it seems to imply?
It means that my answer is yes.
Wonderful. Let's get married tomorrow, and we'll fly to Manila the next day.
Whatever you say, Roger.
Good show, darling. I'll ring you as soon as I've made the arrangements. You know, of course, I love you to the point of screaming distraction. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mansfield. Didn't expect to see me again, did you?
No, actually, I didn't. I have business with these gentlemen, darling. I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me temporarily. won't be long, dear. Now, who'll be first?
Oh, come along. Yeah.
You two together?
Yes, unfortunately.
Together, good joke. Yes.
At least it simplifies matters. Let's get to the point, shall we? As you know, I have a lady waiting.
The point is very simple, Mr. Mansfield. I advanced you half the price of a shipment which has not been delivered.
You recall there's been a reason for the delay.
That is so, but my new partner informs me that he has reasons to question...
On my warehouse, tries to sell me my own goods.
You see, Mr. Mansfield, you have the reputation of being a very poor risk. So I think it best that...
Cash to, shall we say, regain possession of the merchandise.
Oh, you see?
How much money do you require, Mr. Mansfield?
100,000 yen.
I'll give you 50.
Thank you, my friend.
And I shall expect delivery of what I've contracted for by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
3 o'clock will give me plenty of time. And now, if you don't mind,
No jokes. Our next time, you smile from the neck.
next.
Go right ahead.
Here you are, old boy. 40,000 yen on account. No receipt necessary. I trust you implicitly.
Well, but,
No buts at all. Glad to do it. You've been more than patient.
Well, but you owe me much more.
If you'll drop around at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you'll get the entire balance of what's coming to you, with interest. Till tomorrow, then. Thank you for coming.
You know, Tom, you really should have your fingernails clipped. You gave my throat quite a gouging last night. Light? Of course, you understand I took certain precautions before I came here today. Should there be any violence, everything I know will become public domain. Now, shall we get down to business? I want my money. I want my money. This time I've got you by the throat. And if you don't come across, there's somebody else in this house that'd be more than glad to pay for my information. Am I making myself clear, Tom?
For heaven's sake, shut up.
You can forget about that payoff we mentioned last night. This time it'll cost you double. After all, it did offend my personal dignity. What?
Be serious, Derry. What will you take on the spot?
You mean that green stuff? Cash on the line?
There's a little more than $3,000 here. Plus 10,000 yen.
You know, Tom, I never could resist the real McCoy.
I suppose when you've spent that, I'll be hearing from you again.
Why, Tom, what do you take me for?
Goodbye, Derry. And by the way, you have my lighter.
Yes, I know. So long, Tom. For now.
Oh, come in, my darling.
I couldn't help overhearing the end of your conversation.
What's that?
Why did that man call you Tom?
Who? You must have misunderstood him.
No, I heard him quite clearly.
Oh, of course. It was an old army nickname. Derry and I are in the service together.
Oh?
It's true. I was Tom, Derry was Dick, and Paul Forbes was Harry. Tom, Dick, and Harry, you see?
All right, you don't have to shout at me. Why are you getting so upset?
Because I don't like your questioning me about nothing.
And I don't like your attitude about nothing.
This is preposterous. What a flap to make just because some idiot calls me Tom.
Must you drink so much?
Forgive me, but at the moment I'm completely out of patience with you. I'll return when it's time to go to the airport. Let's hope by that time you'll come to your senses.
ID, Hodges speaking. Mr. Hodges, how much would you pay to find Thomas Putnam?
Just who are you, Mr. Mansfield? Why did that man call you Tom?
A man named Putnam murdered your brother.
Just who are you?
Your instincts are rational.
Why did that man call you Tom? Why did that man call you Tom? Why did that man call you Tom?
Good evening, Miss Banning. Is Roger here?
No, he's not, Mr. Yoshida.
Could he be with Yukiko,
Who's Yukiko?
my sister?
Excuse me, Miss Banning. This is Roger's brother-in-law, Mr. Miyagi.
It's what?
His brother-in-law, Miss Benning. At least I thought I was until an hour ago, when I found out the marriage was a fraud.
Is this true?
A man came to our office today. He was promised money for faking the ceremony.
Come in, please. I think you should know that Roger and I were married today. And we're supposed to leave the country tomorrow. And what's more, I believe Roger is Thomas Putnam.
Can you prove that?
No, but I'm sure it's true. You said he might be with your sister. Could you take me to him?
Their house is far across town, in Dayanchuf. I think I should call and make sure he is there.
Please do.
If we stay and search this house, we might find proof that Roger is Thomas Putnam. Then we could take it to the police.
No, we can do that later.
もしもし、Yukiko? そこに Roger いる? あ、そう。
Speak in English. I want to hear this.
He's there. Listen, Yukiko. I'm coming to you at once.
Yes. I see.
Yukiko! 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 Where have you been? Bring some more whiskey.
You only pretended to marry me. You married an American girl.
What are you talking about? Listen, Yuki-chan. You don't understand. There are reasons why that was absolutely necessary, but they don't concern you.
So, it's true.
Stop acting like a sentimental schoolgirl. Another glass. Smoke? Looking for something? Didn't find anything, did you? What did you expect to find? Opium, I suppose. Give me credit for some intelligence. You didn't think I'd pack it in a suitcase, did you? What's the matter? Nothing to say? Sit down. You didn't think I'd come back here, did you? You thought Noritomo and Yoshida would have finished me off by now. Actually, I don't know why they didn't. The way my luck's been running. Remember when I told you strange things happen in the Orient? Well, take my case. I didn't kill Yukiko, although I know it's what you all thought. Then you heard Derry call me Tom. Last night I thought I'd strangle him, but apparently I cut it too short. An hour earlier, I looted a warehouse. I had a fortune in my grasp. And who did the buyer turn out to be? The owner.
There are no lights. He must have gone somewhere else. Go and call the police.
The question now is, what do I do with you, Cheryl? Actually, I have no choice, have I? Don't jump to conclusions, Cheryl. I'm going to use you to escape from the country. Up to a point, that is. Now go on. Lead the way. Out that door and turn right to the street.
an ambulance, Yoshida.